and move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to say goodbye here. If there's one other person, I'm willing to take that right now. We can handle a couple more minutes, and then I do need to part.
I'll jump on.
I was going to say, this woman is to blame for you all being here. I would just like to recognize that and honor that. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. You changed our lives.
Thank you.
Somebody brought up fibroids earlier, but I was wondering if there's anything specific to me of why I have shown up with fibroids. Just confirmed yesterday. Within the last 3 years, and I'm kind of thinking what I might be tied to, but I would like some confirmation.
Well, we can start cutting the deck in half.
Okay.
We'll go back to this and say, what age was this when this began to manifest? Age 8?
48.
Age 8. Just the age of 8 years old.
All right.
And it's a gender-related role.
Okay. I was the oldest girl. I got treated like we never had any boys, so I ended up being the guinea pig of everything.
Okay. You're the oldest of all girls?
Yeah, 4 girls, and I'm the oldest. And there's actually a big age gap between me and the next one.
Okay. What happened at the age of 8?
There's something more significant at the age of 6.
No.
No?
And not tied to it either. They don't call them, again, we say they do not call them repressed memories because they're in the foreground. So we'll say again, is this a conflict with a human being? Yes, it is. Is it more than one human? Yes. Is it more than 3 humans? No. So is it more than 2? Yes. So it is 3. There's 3 people involved, yourself included, and then we're going to say, were they one? Is it your parents? Yes. So it's between you and your parents at the age of 8. It is school related.
I wonder if that's the time that I skipped school.
Feels a little young.
Well,
no.
No, there was time in grade 3 that I didn't quite end up going to school. I stopped at my friend's place and didn't go home. And I got in a hell of a lot of trouble for that.
Okay. And what I'm picking up here is that like lack of remorse on your part.
Oh, I had fun at my friend's house.
Yeah, there's a bit of indignation about this.
Oh yeah.
That you got in trouble. There's a bit of indignation and a bit of perpetuity. It is shining ignorance as to the consequences and having been blindsided by them.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You didn't go to school. What's the big deal?
I stayed over at my friend's place. It's just I made the mistake of going home before school was finished.
Right, and so it wasn't done out of malice. You didn't go to your friend's house out of malice, and you didn't lie to your parents that you did this. You just didn't know to lie. It was, again, like we say, shining. It was like your you show no remorse, you have no repentance for what you've done, but you feel jilted that they should treat you the way they treated you because no one ever said this was wrong.
But I never, ever, ever skipped school again after that.
Right. But there's unforgiveness toward your parents for the harshness of that. Do you feel it in your body right now? They were harsh.
Oh yeah, my father was big time.
Yeah, they were harsh and they were scary, and you were blindsided by it. Feels cruel and unusual punishment to a child who didn't know they'd done anything wrong.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So
how does that create a fibroid then?
It's in the root of it.
Okay.
So now it's in the root of it. It's at the very base. So if you have this unforgiveness toward the way you were treated and it's not been healed, then it comes forward, and the next time something similar happens, it grows, and the next time something similar happens, it grows, and the next time, and then all of a sudden something really big happens, and then it's growing. And it's again, at the very beginning of this call, we stated that all illness comes down to the stress we put on our body through emotional conflicts.
Right.
And when all stress is coming from here, it's just a matter of picking your target and picking the target accurately. So you have to kind of bear with and say, okay, if I haven't cleared it, then I haven't targeted it yet. And using the Court of Atonement to go in and do those. So in this thought right here, at the age of 8, think about the tension you have towards your parents.
Okay.
You feel the tension you have towards your parents?
Yes, and now that you explain that, I'm tying that into a few other things, particularly something that happened 3 years ago when the doctor figures this started growing. Okay.
So put this into a full Court of Atonement with your name now, with what it was back at the age of 8. So I placed myself in a full Court of Atonement with myself, placed myself, Jackie Ryu, in a full Court of Atonement with myself, Jackie
Haselmeyer, at that age.
At the age of 8.
At the age of 8. Okay.
Right. So just make the whole statement.
I placed myself, Jackie Ryu. I just use Jackie Ryu now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I placed myself, Jackie Ryu, into a full Court of Atonement with myself at age 8 as Jackie Haselmeyer.
Jacqueline Haselmeyer. When they yelled your name.
Jacqueline, yes, that was my father.
Yeah. Right.
Jacqueline Haselmeyer.
And I realized I probably should have known that I wasn't to go to my friend's house. I probably should have known better than to go to my, but I honestly,
yeah, but I honestly did
but I honestly didn't, and I'm angry, and I'm still angry with you guys for treating me so harshly.
And I'm still angry with you guys for treating me so harshly.
Does that feel true?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I apologize for not understanding that it was expected that I would go to school.
I apologize for not understanding that it was expected that I should go to school.
I didn't expect to skip school.
I didn't expect to skip school.
Just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened.
Part of me did know better.
Part of me did know better. Should I be forgiving the kid across the street that told me there was no school that day?
That would be a good idea.
I forget who that was.
Okay.
The girl next door.
It's okay. Just say I forgive. I asked to forgive the girl next door who told me there was no school today.
I've asked to forgive the girl next door who told me there was no school.
How's that feeling?
Pretty funny now.
And when you think about your parents, does it feel different?
I wasn't even thinking about them. This is the friends that I lost for 36 years, and I finally found them a few years ago. It was a family of 10 Irish kids, and I had a really good, fun day with them that day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at now is moving forward and saying, now see what's parallel to this that, like you said, happened 3 years ago. If you know that parallel, grab it.
Well, it was being treated wrongly when I didn't think that was fair. I think, is that what we're getting at? That's what I repeated, right?
Right.
And that's what happened 3 years ago.
And that's what's still happening now.
Yeah.
Or they'd be dissolved. Right.
Right.
So you'll have to go in and say, now, with a little more understanding, I'll step in and say, I feel like I was treated unfairly. And you can go in and put them in a court of atonement and ask to be treated fairly. I have 2 other people with their hands up, so we have to move forward.
Yep, that's good. Thank you very much.